Sixers basketball is right around the corner. Daryl Morey, Doc Rivers, a new era begins in Philadelphia basketball. But before the season starts, I got two bold statements. One, Seth Curry has his best season as an NBA player. And two, Joel Embiid will be a MVP candidate. What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. If you are new to the channel and love talking Philly sports every single day, we'll go right ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure you turn on post notifications so you know when I go live or drop some content. Hit that bell. On that note, if you are excited for this new era of Sixers basketball, smash that like button. With all that being said, let's jump into today's topics. And like I said, we talking about two things in particular, Seth Curry and Joel Embiid. So let's start with Seth Curry. But before we get into some of the things Doc Rivers said and what I think about Seth Curry, let's look at this. Roll the clip.
Oh, that's tough. Split egg. Split egg. Knockdown. Bop.
Hey, short offseason and bang. We all know that Seth Curry is a 45% three-point shooter and is going to bring much needed shooting and space to this team so Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid can dominate. But let's keep talking about Seth Curry. We know he can catch and shoot really good from three-pointer, but I think we're going to get a lot more than that out of him throughout this season as it goes on. Look what Doc Rivers said right here. I think we'll expand his role, said Doc Rivers. What people don't realize is that Luka had the ball in his hands more than James Harden. When you have a dominant player like that, you don't touch the ball as much, yet whenever Luka didn't have the ball in his hands, I thought Dallas played through Seth a lot, especially in the pick and rolls. Playing against him in Dallas, we were scared of his shot and his drive. His drives killed us, so he's a clever basketball player. We plan on using his strengths, bottom line. So, of course, his spot-up shooting is deadly at 45%, and it will help the spacing, like I keep saying. I just can't wait to see the space for Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. But again, I think you can really see him being in the starting lineup and having a bigger role. When he played with Dallas, he was in a reserve role, came in for like 24 minutes a game, averaged right around 13 points per game. I can see that increasing. I expect this to be his best season of his short NBA career because we're going to use him in the pick and roll, whether it be with Joel Embiid, whether it be with Ben Simmons, whether him being able to create his own shot. He can do much more than just catch and shoot, and that's where I think he'll be even better on this team than JJ Redick. And not only when he was on the Dallas Mavericks, he had a guy who held the ball a lot in Luka. Even before that, when he was on the Blazers, you got CJ McCollum and Dame Lillard, two ball-dominant guards. So this is going to be his first opportunity that he can really run the half-court set because we all know in transition, outlet the ball to Ben Simmons because he's the best point guard in the NBA in transition, decision-making, finishing at the rack in transition. But when we get to that half-court set, we normally just hand it off to Josh Richardson, and I believe a guy like Seth Curry who can create his own shot, do the pick and roll with Ben or Joel, will benefit this team much more. Speaking about Joel Embiid, let's talk about a guy who I believe can be an MVP candidate, especially now with the floor wide open and Joel Embiid being as dominant as we all know he could be. But before we talk about him, let's look at this clip. Joel Embiid is hungry. I can see it. Roll the tape.
It's tough. Last year we didn't win. We thought we could accomplish winning the whole thing. Kind of ridiculous I didn't make any All-NBA teams and all that stuff. So it was kind of like a punch in the gut. I just gotta do better. I gotta go back to the Joel Embiid from 2 years ago. When I averaged 28 points, I was best defensive player in the league. That's why I've been working so hard to just, trim down and just stay in shape and just keep on getting better. The skills are there. I just need to keep working and, perfect it. Just come back in and just do what I got to do so it doesn't happen again.
Well, there you go. We all know Joel Embiid talks the talk, and most of the time he walks the walk, but one thing that's been stopping him from being that dominant force is his conditioning, and that's one thing I think an old school coach like Doc Rivers, a guy who's been around, seen a lot, is going to enforce for a guy like Joel Embiid, because we all know the winning intangibles are there. It's just the conditioning. So I'm expecting that to be the number one priority that Joel Embiid gets better at, and we go out and see the 2018-19 Joel Embiid, where he averaged 27.5 points, 13 rebounds, almost 4 assists. You give me a 28, 13, and 4 performance the whole season, maybe bump it up a little bit because of this spacing, because of the fact that we got offensive sets we're going to run, pick and rolls, backdoors, moving around, limit your three-point shooting, even though you did shoot around 33%, which is pretty good for a big man. I just want Joel Embiid to be in shape, and everything else will come into form with the guys around them. Because we all know that Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons are the stars on this team. Like I said, I believe Seth Curry is going to have a bigger role. Tobias Harris is even going to have a much more efficient role under Doc Rivers. Not as much ISO ball dribbling, just catch the ball, make one decision, go to the rack, shoot the shot. That's where he was more efficient under Doc Rivers. So I just expect this offense to be much more efficient, and you can't double Joel Embiid. Let's just go back to one bubble game where we played the Spurs. Look at the double team and look at the guys around, the spacing. Are we really scared of Al Horford, Tobias Harris, Josh Richardson, Shake Milton, Ben Simmons to shoot? So the team focuses on Joel Embiid, and they even send guards to try to get the ball out of his hand, because again, something I don't like under Brett Brown, Embiid gets the ball too high on the block, has to put the ball on the floor where the little guards can come in and swipe at it. Let's look at some tape. Here you got Joel Embiid getting in the post by himself, and here comes a triple team. One down low, one up top. Joel Embiid's going to dribble through it and kick it to Shake Milton. He happens to miss this, but these are going to be open looks for these guys. Now they're going to inbound it to Joel Embiid. Double team comes. This is going to be Matisse Thybulle, but this is something Ben Simmons and him are going to do good. Backdoor, finds Matisse, easy bucket. Again, the pass is going to get thrown to Joel Embiid on the block. He's going to go to the post. Another double team comes. There's going to be another shooter. Here it's Matisse. He passes it out. He's able to knock it down this time. Here, Joel Embiid's going to ISO, and immediately the double team comes. Now, Shake Milton is wide open for a three. However, Embiid's just going to go up himself because they're too little. But look, Al Horford clogging up the paint, kind of keeping guys in the vicinity of Joel Embiid. But too little, finishes. Like I said, the double team can't come out there when you got a Seth Curry over there, a Danny Green over there, maybe a Terrence Ferguson, a more efficient Tobias. You can't double the same way when there's shooters on the court. You gotta respect it. So that's going to allow Joel Embiid to win his one-on-one battles and pass out of it if the double team comes. So the assists might go up, the points might go up, and I expect a more in shape Joel Embiid, because when it comes down to the big games, the playoff games late in the season, that's when you're going to need the conditioning to be there for a 7-footer, 280-pound guy in Joel Embiid. That is one of the most important things, his health and his conditioning. We know he's a dominant force, got a jump shot, can shoot the three, 80% from free throw line. We know he has all that. The biggest things are being in shape, conditioning, and staying healthy. Simple and plain. So if we get the 29, 14, and 5 type of Joel Embiid, why wouldn't he be in the MVP conversation? Because I can see us being a top 3 team in the East and him averaging 28, 29, 13 or 14 rebounds and 4 or 5 assists. That fits in with the MVPs. I'm just expecting this team to play more inspired basketball, efficient basketball, moving the ball around, and getting Joel to dominate. We do that, and we are going to compete in the East. Still got to watch out for Milwaukee. Got to watch out for the new Brooklyn Nets. We'll see where that goes. But for the Toronto Raptors, the Boston Celtics, we definitely need to be at least that 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference. But until then, I just can't wait for basketball to come back. With all that being said, I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section when it comes to the Sixers season, Seth Curry possibly breaking out, and Joel Embiid as an MVP candidate. What's your thoughts? Till next time, you know what time it is. We out.